Listen carefully this morning. If your life feels still right now, if nothing seems to be moving, no matter how much you pray, work, or try, I need you to understand something important. Stillness does not mean stagnation. Just because you cannot see progress does not mean progress is not happening. Some of the most powerful work God does in your life happens beneath the surface, in silence, where no applause exists and no recognition follows. Right now, you may feel delayed. You may feel like opportunities keep passing you. You may feel like others are advancing while you remain in the same place. But comparison will blind you to your own development. You are not behind. You are being built. There is a difference. God is not interested in rushing your success if it will cost you your stability. He is not interested in opening a door that your current mindset cannot sustain. What feels like delay is often protection. What feels like silence is often construction. Before the doors open, the foundation must be strong. And foundations are not built in public. They are built underground. This season is not punishment. It is preparation. We live in a culture that glorifies speed. Everything must be fast. Fast results, fast growth, fast recognition. But God does not operate on social media timelines. He operates on purpose, and purpose requires depth. Depth takes time. If every prayer you prayed was answered immediately, you might gain things your character cannot carry. Imagine receiving influence before humility, wealth before wisdom, opportunity before discipline. Many people lose blessings not because they were cursed, but because they were unprepared. Right now, your patience is being strengthened. Your faith is being refined. Your motives are being purified. The delay is shaping you in ways you cannot yet understand. Every day you remain faithful when nothing changes. You are becoming stronger. Every time you choose integrity over shortcuts, you are building unseen authority. Closed doors are not proof of failure. Sometimes they are proof that you are being preserved. Sometimes the door stays closed because if it opened too early, you would walk in too weak. God is not denying you. He is developing you. There is something powerful about hidden seasons. Hidden seasons strip away performance. When nobody is watching, your real habits are exposed. When nobody is praising you, your real motivation is revealed. And that is exactly where growth begins. In the hidden place, you learn consistency without applause. You learn discipline without reward. You learn faith without evidence. And those three things, consistency, discipline, and faith, are what sustain success once it comes. Many people want the spotlight, but they do not want the preparation. They want the platform, but not the pressure that comes with it. But pressure is not your enemy. Pressure strengthens structure. It reveals weakness so it can be repaired. Right now, your life may feel quiet, but quiet does not mean empty. It means intentional. God is strengthening your emotional control. He is stabilizing your decisions. He is teaching you to move with wisdom instead of impulse. Before the doors open, you must become someone who can walk through them without losing yourself. Think about a building. The taller it is meant to rise, the deeper the foundation must go. Nobody celebrates the foundation. Nobody takes pictures of concrete being poured underground. But without that hidden strength, the visible structure would collapse. Your life is no different. If your future is meant to carry weight, responsibility, influence, leadership, then your foundation must be reinforced. Reinforcement takes time. It takes repetition. It takes moments where you feel like nothing exciting is happening. But growth does not always feel exciting. Sometimes it feels boring. Sometimes it feels frustrating. Sometimes it feels unfair. Yet, in those very moments, your emotional maturity is expanding. You are learning not to react impulsively. You are learning not to quit when progress is slow. You are learning not to define your worth by temporary outcomes. And that is strength. If the door is opened when you were emotionally unstable, prideful, or impatient, success would destroy you. So God strengthens you first. Right now, you might be asking, how long will this season last? And the honest answer is, until you are ready. Readiness is not about talent. It is about transformation. It is about becoming the kind of person who can sustain growth without losing balance. This season is training you to endure discomfort. It is teaching you that identity does not come from position. It is teaching you that worth does not come from recognition. It is teaching you to trust even when evidence is absent. When the door finally opens, it will not shock you. It will confirm you, because by that time, you will know you are no longer the same person who once begged for it. You will walk through with confidence, not desperation. Before the doors open, you are being shaped into someone unshakable. One of the hardest lessons in life is understanding that preparation does not feel glamorous. There are no headlines about the days you woke up early to discipline your mind. There are no celebrations for the nights you chose growth over comfort. Yet those quiet decisions are shaping your future more than any public achievement ever could. Right now, you may feel overlooked. You may feel like your efforts are unseen, but unseen does not mean unvalued. Every time you resist quitting, you are strengthening your endurance. Every time you choose faith over frustration, you are deepening your resilience. The door you are praying for is not just an opportunity. It is a responsibility, and responsibility requires emotional stability, spiritual depth, and mental strength. If success arrives before stability, it becomes a burden instead of a blessing. So this season is not wasted. It is strategic. You are being trained to carry more without collapsing. You are being prepared to stand firm when pressure increases. Before doors open outwardly, strength must grow inwardly. There is something powerful about learning to trust without constant reassurance. In the beginning, faith feels emotional. It feels intense. But mature faith is quiet. It is steady. It does not panic when things slow down. You might not see visible results yet, but internal transformation is happening. Your reactions are changing. Your thoughts are becoming clearer. Your patience is stretching further than before. That is growth. Many people abandon their process because they mistake silence for failure. But silence is often the classroom where God teaches perseverance. And perseverance builds confidence that does not depend on circumstances. Imagine walking into your future already calm, already disciplined, already secure in who you are. That kind of stability is not developed overnight. It is forged in seasons where you must continue without applause. The door will open, but when it does, you will not walk in desperate. You will walk in ready. Sometimes the delay is not about the door. It is about you. It is about removing habits that would sabotage the blessing. It is about correcting attitudes that would damage relationships. It is about refining motives so that when success comes, it does not corrupt your heart. God is more concerned with your integrity than your image. Image can impress people. Integrity sustains purpose. Right now, you may be facing challenges that test your patience. People misunderstand you. Opportunities pass you. Plans shift unexpectedly. But these moments are revealing what still needs strengthening. Pressure does not create weakness. It exposes it, and exposure allows healing. This is not punishment. It is refinement. When gold is refined, it goes through fire. The fire does not destroy it, it purifies it. In the same way, this season is removing impurities from your mindset and strengthening your discipline. Before the doors open, your character must be purified. It is easy to stay motivated when everything is moving, but true maturity shows up when nothing is changing and you still remain consistent. Consistency in silence builds a level of confidence that applause cannot give you. When you learn to continue without visible progress, you become unstoppable because your momentum is no longer dependent on results. It is rooted in conviction. You are learning to wake up and show up even when motivation is low. You are learning to stay focused even when distraction is loud. That is discipline. And discipline is the bridge between promise and fulfillment. The door is not late. It is aligned with your development. If it opened sooner, you might have walked through with insecurity. But now you are developing clarity. You are developing calmness. You are developing control. And control over yourself is the greatest power you can possess. There will come a day when you look back at this quiet season and realize it was the turning point. Not because something dramatic happened, but because you changed. You became more patient, more focused, more grounded. You stopped chasing validation and started building stability. You stopped reacting emotionally and started responding wisely. And that shift, that internal shift, is what prepares you for the next level. The door you are waiting for is not just an external breakthrough. It is the confirmation of internal growth. When it opens, it will not feel overwhelming. It will feel earned, not because you forced it, not because you manipulated it, but because you endured long enough to become strong enough. Before the doors open, you are becoming someone who cannot be shaken. Before a door opens externally, something must shift internally. Many people wait for opportunity to change their mindset. But real transformation happens before opportunity arrives. If you wait for the breakthrough to become disciplined, confident, or focused, you will miss the point of the waiting season. Right now, your identity is being reshaped. You are learning who you are without position, who you are without praise, who you are without visible success. That is powerful. Because when identity is rooted in external outcomes, it becomes fragile. God is strengthening your sense of self. He is teaching you that you are valuable before recognition, that you are chosen before elevation, that your worth does not depend on a title or platform. When identity becomes stable, pressure loses its power. Rejection loses its sting. Delay loses its threat. Before the doors open, you must know who you are. Because if you do not know who you are, success will define you. And when success defines you, failure can destroy you. Identity first, door latter. Spiritual depth is developed in seasons where answers are not immediate. When everything is going well, it is easy to say you trust God. But when plans stall and progress slows, trust becomes real. This season is teaching you to rely on something deeper than emotion. It is teaching you to wake up and pray even when you feel nothing, to move forward even when clarity is incomplete, to believe even when evidence is minimal. Faith that survives silence becomes unshakable. It is no longer based on feelings. It is anchored in conviction. Conviction creates calmness. Calmness creates clarity. Clarity creates strong decisions. When the door finally opens, you will not panic. You will not rush recklessly. You will step forward with wisdom because your spiritual foundation has been strengthened. Before the door opens, your faith must mature. Not dramatic, not loud, but steady. Character is built when you choose the right action without external pressure, when nobody is watching, when nobody is rewarding you, when quitting would be easy. In this quiet season, your character is being tested. Do you remain consistent when progress is invisible? Do you remain honest when shortcuts seem easier? Do you remain disciplined when comfort calls? Character is what keeps you standing when influence increases. Influence amplifies who you already are. If your foundation is weak, exposure will magnify weakness. But if your character is strong, exposure will reveal strength. That is why preparation matters more than promotion. God is shaping your internal discipline. He is strengthening your emotional control. He is teaching you patience that does not break under pressure. Before doors open, your character must be strong enough to sustain what comes next. There are lessons you can only learn in stillness. When distractions fade and noise quiets, you begin to hear clearly. You begin to recognize patterns in your thinking. You begin to see habits that once controlled you. This is refinement. Refinement is uncomfortable because it exposes flaws. But exposure is not condemnation. It is correction. And correction leads to growth. Instead of resisting this process, embrace it. Ask yourself what this season is revealing. Where do you still react impulsively? Where do you still allow insecurity to guide decisions? Where do you still seek validation instead of alignment? These questions may feel heavy, but they are strengthening you. Before doors open, weaknesses must be confronted, not to shame you, but to strengthen you. You are not in a race. Comparison creates unnecessary pressure. When you constantly measure your progress against others, you distort your perspective. Everyone's preparation timeline is different. Some doors open early, others open later. But early does not mean better, and later does not mean forgotten. God's timing is not random. It is precise. This season may feel slow, but slowness builds depth. Depth builds resilience. Resilience builds longevity. When your door opens, it will align with your readiness, not your impatience, not your insecurity. Your readiness. And readiness is what you are developing right now. Before the doors open, patience must grow deeper than frustration. Pressure is not proof that something is wrong. Sometimes pressure is proof that something important is forming. Diamonds are shaped under pressure. Steel is strengthened under heat. And leaders are formed under responsibility. Right now, you may feel internal pressure, the desire to grow, the frustration of delay, the tension of wanting more. But that tension is not your enemy. It is stretching your capacity. If your future requires strength, then your present must include resistance. Without resistance, there is no growth. Without stretching, there is no expansion. God does not increase your influence without increasing your stability. He does not expand your reach without strengthening your roots. If He is allowing pressure, it is because you are capable of carrying it. Instead of asking why it feels heavy, ask what it is building. Before the doors open, your capacity must expand. Responsibility changes everything. It shifts your thinking from, what do I want? To, what am I entrusted with? And before God entrusts you with more, He observes how you handle what you already have. How do you treat small opportunities? How do you respond to minor inconveniences? How do you manage limited resources? Faithfulness in small things builds credibility for greater things. Many people want the door to open wide, but if they cannot handle a narrow hallway with discipline, they will not survive a larger space with pressure. Right now, you are being observed, not by people, but by process. Your habits are shaping your future. Your daily consistency is building invisible authority. Before the doors open, you must prove faithful where you stand. Authority is not loud. It is earned through stability. When you know who you are and whose you are, you move differently. You no longer react impulsively. You respond intentionally. This season is stabilizing your emotions. You are learning not to be controlled by fear, pride, insecurity, or impatience. Emotional maturity is one of the greatest signs of readiness. If you cannot control your reactions now, increased responsibility will expose you later. God is not preparing you only for success. He is preparing you for stewardship. Stewardship requires calmness under pressure, wisdom under stress, humility under praise. Before the doors open, emotional authority must grow stronger than emotional reaction. There is a difference between being excited about opportunity and being prepared for it. Excitement is temporary. Preparation is structural. Many people pray for elevation, but avoid the daily habits that sustain elevation. They want change without discipline, influence without consistency, success without sacrifice. But real readiness looks quiet. It looks like showing up daily. It looks like choosing growth when nobody forces you to. It looks like resisting shortcuts even when they seem easier. Right now, your discipline is being tested. Your focus is being refined. Your endurance is being strengthened. Before the doors open, your habits must align with your prayers. Imagine walking through a door too early. The pressure overwhelms you. The responsibility feels crushing. The expectations feel heavy. That is what happens when opportunity outruns preparation. God prevents that. He delays not to frustrate you, but to fortify you. He slows the process so your structure can support the future. You are not being held back. You are being built up. And when the door finally opens, you will not feel fragile. You will feel firm. You will not feel anxious. You will feel anchored. Because before the doors open, strength must be deeper than desire. Hidden seasons are not wasted seasons. They are strategic seasons. When you feel unseen, you are often being strengthened in ways that public recognition could never accomplish. In hidden seasons, you develop resilience without applause. You build discipline without reward. You cultivate faith without visible confirmation. This is where true strength forms. When no one is watching, your real habits surface. When no one is clapping, your real motivation is revealed. That is where growth becomes authentic. God uses hidden seasons to strip away ego, to remove dependence on validation, to teach you to move from conviction instead of comparison. If success arrived while you still needed approval, it would control you. But when you learn to stand secure in silence, success cannot manipulate you. Before the doors open, you must become strong enough to stand alone without losing direction. Silence is uncomfortable because it forces reflection. When distractions fade, you begin to notice areas that need correction. You begin to see patterns that once controlled you. This is refinement. Refinement is not always gentle. It exposes pride. It reveals insecurity. It confronts laziness. But exposure is not condemnation. It is preparation. God is not pointing out weakness to shame you. He is revealing it so it can be strengthened. When you confront what needs growth, you build integrity. And integrity sustains opportunity. Before doors open, blind spots must shrink. Emotional triggers must weaken. Discipline must deepen. Silence allows clarity. And clarity builds confidence that does not depend on circumstances. There is power in learning to wait without bitterness. Waiting with frustration drains strength. Waiting with faith builds it. You can choose how you wait. You can complain about the delay, or you can grow during it. Every day you remain steady instead of resentful. You increase your spiritual maturity. You prove that your commitment is not conditional. God does not open doors based on impatience. He opens them based on readiness, and readiness is revealed in how you handle delay. Before doors open, patience must become stronger than pressure. Timing is everything. An opportunity given at the wrong time becomes a burden, but given at the right time, it becomes a blessing. You may not understand why certain opportunities slipped away, but sometimes what you lost was not meant to stay. If something left, it may have been protecting you from misalignment. God aligns doors with development. He synchronizes opportunity with growth. When your internal strength matches the external opportunity, timing feels natural, not forced. Before the doors open, alignment must replace anxiety. You are not just waiting for a door. You are becoming the kind of person who can sustain what is behind it. That is the difference. Anyone can celebrate when opportunity comes, but not everyone can manage the responsibility that follows. Your focus right now should not be on the door. It should be on your development. Are you growing daily? Are you correcting your weaknesses? Are you strengthening your discipline? Because when the door finally opens, preparation will speak louder than excitement. Before the doors open, You must be built internally so you do not break externally. Testing seasons are not accidents. They are assignments. Every test reveals what is inside you. When pressure rises, what spills out? Fear or faith? Discipline or distraction? Stability or insecurity? God allows testing not to destroy you, but to strengthen you. A muscle only grows when resistance is applied. In the same way, your spiritual strength only grows when challenges demand endurance. If you were promoted without testing, you would collapse under expectation. But testing builds confidence rooted in experience. It teaches you that you can survive discomfort, that you can remain steady when circumstances are uncertain. Right now, the tension you feel is shaping you. The frustration you feel is refining you. The delay you feel is stabilizing you. Before the doors open, your endurance must be proven. Transformation is rarely dramatic. It is gradual. You may not notice how much you have changed because growth happens quietly. Think about who you were 1 year ago. Your reactions were different. Your patience was weaker. Your discipline was inconsistent. But now, something has shifted. You are calmer, more thoughtful, more intentional. That shift did not happen overnight. It happened through repetition, through small corrections, through daily decisions. Transformation is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming who you were meant to be. And that version of you requires strength, clarity, and stability. Before the doors open, transformation must be complete enough to sustain what is coming. Spiritual authority is not loud. It does not demand attention. It commands respect through consistency. When you learn to control your impulses, you gain authority over yourself. When you trust God instead of reacting emotionally, you gain authority over fear. Authority begins internally. If you cannot govern your thoughts, you cannot manage opportunity. If you cannot discipline your habits, you cannot handle expansion. God builds authority in silence. He strengthens your confidence through endurance. He teaches you to stand firm even when answers are delayed. Before the doors open, you must carry quiet authority, the kind that does not need validation. Sometimes what feels like rejection is redirection. You may have knocked on doors that never opened. You may have pursued paths that suddenly closed. But closed doors do not mean you failed. They may mean you were being repositioned. God does not waste your effort. Even detours build experience. Even disappointments build discernment. Discernment is the ability to recognize alignment. And alignment protects you from unnecessary regret. Before the doors open, your direction must become clear. Clarity prevents confusion when opportunity arrives. There comes a moment when preparation meets opportunity. But that moment cannot be forced. It must be aligned. Right now, alignment is happening beneath the surface. Your mindset is stabilizing. Your habits are strengthening. Your faith is deepening. You are no longer the same person who first prayed for the door. You are stronger now, more disciplined, more grounded, and that growth matters. Because when the door opens, you will not enter fragile. You will enter firm. You will not enter desperate. You will enter ready. Before the doors open, readiness must replace impatience. There comes a point in every preparation season where you stop asking, when will it happen? And start asking, who am I becoming? That shift changes everything. When you focus only on the door, impatience grows. But when you focus on development, strength grows. And strength is what sustains breakthrough. You may not have the opportunity yet, but you have growth. You may not have recognition yet, but you have refinement. You may not have visibility yet, but you have stability. And stability is more valuable than speed. Before the doors open, your confidence must be internal, not dependent on validation. You must be secure in your progress even when no one applauds it. That is maturity, and maturity attracts opportunity without desperation. Confidence built through preparation feels different. It is not loud. It is not arrogant. It is calm. You no longer feel threatened by others' progress. You no longer panic when timelines shift. You no longer rush decisions out of fear. That is growth. When you become calm under pressure, you demonstrate readiness. When you become consistent under delay, you demonstrate strength. God watches consistency more than excitement. He values faithfulness more than emotional intensity. Before the doors open, your stability must become stronger than your urgency. Because urgency can cause mistakes, but stability protects you. Responsibility is coming. That is why preparation has been intense. You have been stretched emotionally, tested mentally, refined spiritually. Not by accident, but by design. If your future requires leadership, your present must include discipline. If your future requires influence, your present must include humility. Influence magnifies character. Leadership exposes weakness. That is why development must happen first. Before the doors open, humility must deepen. Pride must shrink. Discipline must strengthen. When responsibility arrives, it should not surprise you. It should confirm you. There is a difference between wanting something and being positioned for it. Positioning requires alignment. Alignment requires correction. Correction requires honesty. You may have had to let go of habits that slowed you down. You may have had to release relationships that distracted you. You may have had to confront weaknesses that once controlled you. That is positioning. You are not being isolated. You are being aligned. When alignment happens, doors open naturally. They do not feel forced. They feel timed. Before the doors open, positioning must be complete. You are closer than you think, not because something dramatic is about to explode overnight, but because your internal growth is nearly aligned with external opportunity. You feel different now, more grounded, less reactive, more patient, less insecure. That is evidence. Evidence that you are not who you used to be. Evidence that this season has not been wasted. Before the doors open, your mindset must reflect readiness, and yours is shifting. Keep building. Keep trusting. Keep strengthening. The door is not far. It is waiting for alignment. There is a quiet confidence that forms when you know you have done the work. Not perfect work, but faithful work. You no longer feel frantic. You no longer feel desperate. You feel steady. That steadiness is proof of preparation. You are no longer begging for opportunity. You are building capacity for it. You are no longer trying to prove yourself. You are strengthening yourself. Before, you wanted the door because you felt incomplete. Now, you want the door because you feel prepared. That shift matters. When desire comes from insecurity, it creates anxiety. When desire comes from readiness, it creates anticipation. And anticipation is calm. Before the doors open, anxiety must turn into assurance. You may notice something subtle happening inside you. The same situations that once frustrated you no longer shake you. The same delays that once discouraged you no longer define you. That is growth. You have been strengthened quietly. Your reactions have matured. Your perspective has widened. Perspective changes everything. What once felt like punishment now feels like protection. What once felt like rejection now feels like redirection. That change in interpretation is spiritual maturity. Before the doors open, your perspective must become aligned with purpose. Breakthrough does not start when the door opens. It starts when fear loses control. There was a time when you doubted your ability, a time when insecurity whispered louder than faith. But now, something is different. You trust the process more than your impatience. You trust God more than your timeline. You trust development more than applause. Fear still exists, but it no longer rules you. And when fear loses control, readiness increases. Before the doors open, courage must become stronger than hesitation. Opportunity will test you differently than delay did. Delay tested your patience. Opportunity will test your discipline. Delay tested your faith. Opportunity will test your focus. If your preparation has been strong, opportunity will not overwhelm you. It will refine you further. This is why hidden seasons matter. They teach you to manage yourself before you manage influence. Before the doors open, you must master yourself. There is a moment when preparation and timing finally meet. It feels natural, not rushed, not chaotic, just aligned. When that moment comes, you will not question it. You will recognize it because you will feel grounded, clear, ready. The door will not open because you forced it. It will open because you became ready for it. And readiness cannot be faked. Before the doors open, you must become unshakable. You are no longer the same person who first asked for the door. At the beginning, you wanted escape. Now, you want alignment. At the beginning, you wanted speed. Now, you value strength. That transformation is the real breakthrough. Doors do not create greatness. Preparation reveals it. And what has been built inside you during this season is stronger than you realize. You have learned to endure without applause, to stay consistent without validation, to trust without constant reassurance. That is not weakness. That is maturity. The waiting season taught you discipline. The silence taught you reflection. The delay taught you patience. And patience is powerful. When you learn to wait without losing faith, you become stable. When you become stable, you become reliable. And reliability attracts responsibility. God entrusts responsibility to those who remain steady under pressure. Before the doors open, steadiness must become your identity. There was a time when you thought the closed door was your enemy. Now you understand it was your teacher. It forced you to grow, to evaluate, to strengthen areas you once ignored. Closed doors reveal blind spots, and blind spots corrected become strength. You are not the same. You are wiser, stronger, more grounded. That is why the door had to stay closed. When the door finally opens, it will not define you. It will reflect you. It will reflect your discipline, your patience, your maturity, your faith. Opportunity does not change who you are. It exposes who you have become, and you have become stronger. There is no rush anymore. That is the clearest sign of readiness. You are not desperate. You are not frantic. You are prepared. Prepared people move differently. They step forward calmly. They decide wisely. They carry responsibility without collapsing. Before the doors open, calmness must replace chaos. You will not need to force what is aligned. When the timing is right, the door will not resist you. It will respond to you, because development creates natural alignment, and alignment creates smooth transition. Even if the door takes longer than expected, you are no longer afraid, because you understand something now. The process was never about the door. It was about you. It was about shaping you into someone who cannot be shaken. You do not measure progress by visibility anymore. You measure it by stability. You are stable in faith, stable in discipline, stable in identity. That stability is wealth, and wealth of character lasts longer than temporary success. When the door opens, you will walk through it differently than you once imagined. Not loudly, not arrogantly, but confidently, because you know the waiting season built the strength the opportunity requires. Before the doors open, God builds the person who can walk through them. He strengthens your foundation so success cannot shake you. He refines your character so influence cannot corrupt you. He deepens your faith so delay cannot break you. The closed door was never rejection. It was preparation. And when the right door finally opens, you will not enter fragile. You will enter ready. Do not fear the waiting season. Embrace it. Because before the doors open, you are becoming unshakable.